Tonight, our special transmission as an Israeli soldier defends sex abuse allegations on a TV show. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. Today is the 314th day since Israel started targeting Palestinians indiscriminately. In the past 24 hours, Israeli airstrikes have killed 36 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Early morning attacks today have targeted multiple areas, including Nuseirat, Maghazi, Khan Yunis, and Rafah. In Nuseirat camp, 7 individuals have been killed at their home. In Khan Yunis, 4 people have been targeted in a residential apartment. 3 civilians have perished in Maghazi camp and another 3 in Rafah's Sel Sultan neighborhood. 2 civilians have been killed by sniper fire in Bani Suhaila, east of Khan Yunis. The Israeli military has reported the death of 2 Palestinian civil defense members in Rafah. The military is identifying them as Fire Sergeant Suhaib Adel Abu Taqiyya and Sergeant Hussein Diab Abu Jamus. The violence extends beyond Gaza. 5 Palestinians have been killed in Tuba's governorate in the occupied West Bank. The United Nations Humanitarian Agency has highlighted the alarming frequency of Israeli strikes on schools. A recent attack on a United Nations-run school has killed at least 100 civilians. The Euro-Mediterranean Human Rights Monitor reports that nearly 17,000 Palestinian children have been killed since October 7th. 2,100 of these casualties are of infants under the age of 2. Israel has killed at least 39,965 Palestinians in the past 10 months. 92,294 have been injured. Israel is accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice. The court has ordered Tel Aviv to immediately halt its military operation. The U.S. has approved a $20 billion arms package for Israel. The package includes fighter jets, including Boeing F-15, missiles, and advanced munitions. The news comes despite concerns over human rights abuses in Palestine. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says this deal is crucial for Israel's self-defense amid escalating tensions with Iran and Hezbollah. The shipment will significantly boost Israel's military capabilities. Equipment such as 33,000 tank shells and 50,000 explosive mortar cartridges will be delivered soon. Some equipment may take years to arrive in Israel. Critics argue this arms transfer exacerbates the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where Israeli actions have led to substantial civilian casualties. Activists accuse the Biden administration of worsening the crisis by continuing support. The U.S. says it is aiming to mediate a ceasefire. However, dissent is growing over its handling of the conflict and its implications for regional stability. A report by the New York Times says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reportedly added new conditions to the ceasefire proposal. The report says the new conditions are complicating negotiations. It reveals Netanyahu's demands include maintaining Israeli control over the southern Gaza-Egypt border and restricting Palestinians' return to northern Gaza. These terms were not part of the original ceasefire plan presented by U.S. President Joe Biden in May. This proposal called for a full ceasefire and daily aid truck deliveries to Gaza. The U.S., Egypt, and Qatar are set to mediate new talks tomorrow. The report says Netanyahu's maneuvers could hinder progress. In a shocking TV appearance, an Israeli soldier accused of sexually assaulting a Palestinian detainee at Sde Tayman prison has defended his actions. The soldier made an appearance on Channel 14. He was initially wearing a mask and later removed it. He called the Israeli Defense Forces the healthiest army in the world. The soldier criticized journalists for exposing the abuse. Footage obtained from the facility shows soldiers using shields to block the view of the assault. The video shows dozens of prisoners lying face down on the floor with their hands on the back of their heads. One of the prisoners is led away to a discreet corner and abused sexually. The footage has been condemned by the White House. Following the backlash, 10 soldiers were arrested for rape. Military prosecutors released 3 of them on August 4th. 2 soldiers were previously released by the investigators. There have been far-right riots in Israel in support of the arrested soldiers. The protesters have been demanding the right to rape. A Berlin court has rejected a Palestinian request to stop German arms sales to Israel. The appeal was filed by a Palestinian father and son from Gaza. The Berlin-Brandenburg Higher Administrative Court upheld a previous ruling that dismissed similar bids. It says there is no certainty about future federal decisions on arms exports. The court says Germany has not approved new arms exports this year. It rejects claims of potential violations of international law. Last year, Germany approved 326 million euros in arms exports to Israel. The exports included advanced weaponry like SAR, 6 corvettes, and diesel engines for military vehicles. These exports have supported Israel's current operations in Gaza, including the blockade and offensive strikes. 2 Palestinian Americans have filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government, claiming the Biden administration has placed them on a secret watch list. Osama Abu Arshaid and Mustafa Zaidan say they have been kept in the list due to their activism against Israel's war. Abu Arshaid is a vocal critic of Israeli policies. Arshaid was detained at the airport in June because his name was added to the watch list for the second time. His family members have also been added to the list. Zaidan was barred from flying to Jordan after being added to a no-fly list. He frequently visits his sick mother in Jordan. The lawsuit is backed by the Council on American Islamic Relations. It argues that these actions are politically motivated and aim to suppress dissent. The plaintiffs contend that their treatment reflects a troubling trend of politicized security measures. The Department of Justice has yet to comment. New York City video journalist Sam Salig's son has been charged with the felony hate crime for documenting a Free Palestine protest. Last June, Salig's son filmed activists graffitiing the homes of Brooklyn Museum officials protesting the museum's stance on Palestine. Salig's son is not accused of vandalism. However, he faces charges for his role as a journalist documenting the event. Critics argue this move is an alarming attempt to freedom of press. They say the charge will suppress Free Palestine speech by conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. Legal experts warn this could set a dangerous precedent and will discourage reporters from covering controversial events. The First Amendment, Fifth Amendment, and the New York Shield Law protect reporters from being forced to reveal confidential sources or materials. Journalists have no legal obligation to share any information with police or prosecutors about the participants in the events they may cover, even those involving unlawful conduct. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a nonprofit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.